Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Verse 35. Yatha matsyadi rupani datte jahyad yatha natha bhubharaha kshapito yena jahau tacca kalevaram. Yatha matsyadi rupani dhatte jahyad yatha nataha bhubharaha kshapito yena jahau tacca kalevaram. Yatha matsyadi rupani dhatte jahyad yatha nataha bhubharaha kshapito yena jahau tacca kalevaram. Yatha, as much as, Matsyadi, incarnation as a fish, etc. Rupani, forms. Dhate, eternally accepts. Jahyat, apparently relinquishes. Yatha, exactly like. Nataha, magician. Bhubharaha, burden of the world. Kshapitaha, relieved. Yena, by which. Jahau, let go. Tat, that. Cha, also. Kalevaram, body. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord relinquished the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation and others. Purport. The Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is neither impersonal nor formless, but his body is non-different from him, and therefore he is known as the embodiment of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. In the Brihad Vaishnava Tantra, it is clearly mentioned that anyone who considers the form of Lord Krishna to be made of material energy must be ostracized by all means. And if by chance the face of such an infidel is seen, one must clean himself by jumping in the river with his clothing. The Lord is described as Amrita or deathless because he has no material body. Under the circumstances, the Lord's dying or quitting his body is like the jugglery of a magician. The magician shows by his tricks that he is cut to pieces, burned to ashes, or made unconscious by hypnotic influences, but all are false shows only. Finally, the magician himself is neither burned to ashes nor cut to pieces, nor is he dead or unconscious at any stage of his magical demonstration. Similarly, the Lord has his eternal forms of unlimited variety, of which the fish incarnation, as was exhibited within his universe, is also one. Because there are innumerable universes, somewhere or other, the fish incarnation must be manifesting his pastimes without cessation. In this verse, the particular word dhate, eternally accepted, and not the word dhitva, accepted for the occasion, is used. The idea is that the Lord does not create the fish incarnation. He eternally has such a form, and the appearance and disappearance of such an incarnation serves particular purposes. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 24-25, the Lord says, "The impersonalists think that I have no form, that I am formless, but that at present I have accepted a form to serve a purpose, and now I'm manifested. But such speculators are factually without sharp intelligence. Though they may be good scholars in the Vedic literatures, they are practically ignorant of my inconceivable energies and my eternal forms of personality. The reason is that I reserve the power of not being exposed to the non-devotees by my mystic curtain. The less intelligent fools are therefore unaware of my eternal form, which is never to be vanquished and is unborn. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that those who are envious and always angry at the Lord are unfit to know the actual and eternal form of the Lord. In the Bhagavatam also it is stated that the Lord appeared like a thunderbolt to those who were restless. Shishupal, at the time of being killed by the Lord, could not see him as Krishna, being dazzled by the glare of the Brahmajyoti. Therefore, the temporary manifestation of the Lord as a thunderbolt to the restless appointed by Kamsa, or the glaring appearance of the Lord before Shishupal, was relinquished by the Lord. But the Lord as a magician is eternally existent and is never vanquished in any circumstance. Such forms are temporarily shown to the asuras only, and when such exhibitions are withdrawn, the asuras think that the Lord is no more existent, just as a foolish audience thinks the magician to be burned to ashes or cut to pieces. The conclusion is that the Lord has no material body, and therefore he is never to be killed or changed by his transcendental body. Translation again. The Supreme Lord relinquished the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones like the fish incarnation and others. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmanitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone. We are continuing with this very nice chapter, and I was reading the transcription of Srila Prabhupada's lecture on this verse. And he starts off the lecture with a verse from Brahma Samhita. And that verse is Rama Dimurtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan Nana Vataram Akarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Such a beautiful verse. So what does that mean? It means that the Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms. And the main forms are those like Rama, Narasimha, Narayana, etc. So there are innumerable forms. And main point is he is eternally situated, which means it's not that these forms come and go, that they are there today and they are not there tomorrow. No, they are eternally existing. Now, Govindam Adi Purusham, that means he's the original person. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains in chapter 7 that he is the supreme person. It is very, very clear from the Bhagavad Gita also that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he's the Adi Purusham. He's the original person. And he has different forms like, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Anantarupam, unlimited forms, many, many incarnations. So when I was reading Srila Prabhupada's lecture, the transcription of this verse, he was talking about one of the forms that is there within our hearts. Antaryami, the super soul, that is also a form, and that is an eternal form. It's not that when, we give up this body, that form of super soul is gone, and then when we take on another body, then again it exists. No, it is eternally existing. So, since Krishna's forms are unlimited, which means we cannot count them. And when it says Anadi, Rupam means form. So when the impersonals think that the Lord has no form, that has no meaning at all. Rupam means form. Like it is said, man is made in the image of God. So if man has a form, then obviously God has to have a form. So Anadim Rupam. So from the scriptures, we come to know that Krishna has a form, but it is not material like our body. It is transcendental. Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. It is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. So that itself proves that Krishna is not formless or he's not impersonal. Now, this particular verse is talking about Krishna relinquishing his body. A very nice word used in the translation, that he relinquishes his body. Now, that body, of course, we heard is not material. Why? Because Krishna is deathless. There's no question of him dying or quitting his body like we quit the body, because his body is Sat Chit Ananda. It is eternal and it is transcendental. It's just that it disappears from our vision. So when actually Krishna left this planet, it's not that he quit his body and he was gone, but he disappeared. He appears and he disappears. Now that is based on his wish. He decides when he wants to appear and when he wants to disappear. But what about us? We don't have a choice. It's not that I decide, okay, now I want to be born. Now, okay, I want to give up this body. No, we don't have a choice. It's not voluntary. We are forced to leave the body when it is time to leave the body. I was attracted by this word relinquish. So I looked up the meaning, and it says voluntarily ceasing. That means there is a choice. Krishna, he decides when he wants to relinquish the body, when he wants to disappear. Srila Prabhupada in the purport gives a nice analogy of a magician. You see, I don't know how many of you have seen magic show, but the magician, does a lot of magic, which actually is not real. It is just hypnotism, you can say. We think like magician is cutting himself to pieces or burning himself to ashes. That all is unreal. It's not that the magician has been cut into pieces and burned to ashes. No, it's just hypnotism. We are made to believe that this is what has happened, but it is all false in actuality. So when Krishna comes and he goes, someone may think that, oh, Krishna came and then he died. For instance, we've heard this pastime many times, that when it was time for Krishna, when he decided he wants to leave this earthly planet, that a hunter shoots an arrow to his lotus foot and Krishna dies. No, that is not what it is. It is said that that arrow felt like rose petals on his lotus foot. So it's just that Krishna wanted to disappear. He wanted to leave this planet and go back to the spiritual world. So it is those who don't have knowledge, they think like, when they see the magician cut to pieces, that, oh, he really has been cut into pieces. But that is not reality. So from this verse, we see that Krishna has unlimited forms, right? And his forms, like, the fish incarnation, the Matsya avatar that's mentioned, they are manifested in different planets. So say, for instance, Matsya avatar is right now on this earthly planet, But when this form disappears from the earthly planet, doesn't mean it's gone. No, it's manifested in another planet. The same pastime takes place in a different planet. So Srila Prabhupada says that these forms, they are manifested in different planets at different time. And the same incarnation, like the Matsya avatar, it manifests without cessation. There is no ceasing of this form at all. It is going on in different planets at different times. So the main point to understand is that Krishna does not create these incarnations. He does not say, oh, today Matsya avatar, today Kurma avatar. No, he does not create them. They are eternally there. These forms are eternally present. They are always there. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, we learned, excuse me, we learned that we are spirit souls and we are eternally existing. It's not that we were born and then we die and then we are born again and then we again die. We are eternally existing. Similarly, Krishna's forms, unlimited forms, are eternally existing. And he appears and disappears as per the situation. Wherever Krishna wants to appear, he does. In whichever form he wants to appear, he does. And he is, appearing and disappearing in different places, different planets at different times. But he exists eternally. Just like Srila Prabhupada gives the analogy of a magician. Magician is performing magic, showing different things, which make us to believe that, all different ghastly things are happening. There's a sword and he's being cut into pieces, etc. But that is just magic. It is not reality. So Krishna, excuse me, his body, as we know, is eternal. It is not material at all, so it cannot be killed. Nor does he change his transcendental body, that, okay, now I decide to, be in a material body. Okay, now I'm back in transcendental body. No, his body is eternally Sat Chit Anand. It is full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Now let's talk about our bodies. Our bodies, on the other hand, are completely material. And we change bodies. We've learned this in the Bhagavad Gita. Dehi no asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhiras tatra na muhyati. So, based on our actions, we decide which body we want in the next life. So if I'm going to live like an animal, definitely my next birth, I will have a body of an animal. So we are the ones who create the situations, and we are the ones who place an order for our next life. Okay, I'm deciding that I'm going to perform such actions because I want this form of body in my next life. It's not that Krishna, just randomly decides, and then, okay, this one gets this body, this one gets that body. No, it's based on our karma, on our actions. So we create these situations by which we change different bodies. And Srila Prabhupada in his lecture mentions that our rupam, means our body, material body, is an imitation of Krishna. His form is not like ours, which is a material form, because Krishna's every form is transcendental and it is spiritual. Now, why does Krishna come down? He comes to remove the burden of the earth, like we saw in the translation of today's verse. And Prabhupada mentions that because of demoniac people, the earth gets burdened. Not only burdened, but overburdened. And then there, because of that, there's a lot of confusion. And in fact, because of this overburdening of the earth, this is due to the citizens that do not abide by the laws. When the citizens of the state or the country do not abide by the state or the country laws, then there is confusion, then there is a problem. Similarly, when we, spiritual eternal beings, the spirit souls, even though we are in this material body, if we do not abide by Krishna's laws, if we do not try to be Krishna conscious, then there is a problem. And so Krishna has to come down to remove the burden of the earth. In the Bhagavad Gita, we have heard this, we have read, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever there is a decline in religious principles and there is a rise in irreligion, Krishna has to come, he comes down. Dharmasya, dharma. Dharma, what is dharma? Dharma doesn't mean, our own religion that we create. Dharma doesn't mean we, we make our own sentiments and we call it religion. No, dharma cannot be created. Dharma is laws of Krishna, laws of God. And what is real dharma? Real dharma is to surrender unto Krishna. What is that very nice verse from 18th chapter? Sarva dharman parityagya. Abandon all varieties of religion. Why? Because these all varieties are man-made. The religion, so-called religion, it's all man-made. Real dharma is to surrender to Krishna. When Krishna is saying, abandon all varieties of religion, which means all varieties. We have to give up all our, opinions and whatever is there in our heads. According to me, this is God, that is God, this is religion. All that has to be abandoned. Krishna has to come down to re-establish dharma. Now, when he comes down to re-establish dharma, does that mean he comes to re-establish Hindu dharma, Christian dharma, Muslim dharma? No. He just comes to re-establish his own dharma, all the laws that he has given us in the scriptures. That is what he comes down. So when we are talking so much about dharma, 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 what is the actual meaning of dharma? We get it in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. This dharma is the law given to us by God, by Krishna. That is dharma, that is religion. So now that we know that dharma comes from Krishna, how do we know who is following dharma? What is a symptom of someone who is following laws of Krishna? We learn that in the Bhagavad Gita. One of the verses Krishna talks about is Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmani Gavi Hasini Suni Chaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshina. Panditaha, a learned person, he sees everyone equally. When someone has that vision, where someone sees everyone equally and is, on that platform where there is no confusion at all, then we know that this person is following dharma. Another nice verse Srila Prabhupada quotes is Brahma Bhuta Prasanna Atma Na Shochati Na Kankshati. That Prasanna Atma, that person is so happy, so satisfied. Then we know this is a person who is following dharma. He is a Pandita. How does one become a Pandita? Not by keeping a shikha, shaving head, keeping a shikha, putting tilak, and wearing dhoti kurta, or a lady wearing a sari, becomes a pandita. No, pandita means someone who has the knowledge and who is following that knowledge, putting that knowledge into practice. Srila Prabhupada says there is knowledge, and then when that knowledge is practiced, it becomes wisdom. Knowledge plus practice equals to wisdom. Then a person is considered wise. And such a wise person is very happy in all situations, is properly situated. Such a person is a panditaha and is following the dharma, the real dharma. What does Krishna say in chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita? Vedescha sarver aham eva vedayo, Vedanta krit vedavad eva chaham. He says, I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am to be known from the Vedas. See, that is the purpose of this knowledge, to understand Krishna. So here we see that Krishna is there, his incarnations are there, Bhagavad Gita is there, he's given us everything in Bhagavad Gita itself, in the tiny book of 700 verses. All that we need to do is take advantage of it. That's it. It is said that Srila Prabhupada has given us Krishna consciousness in a golden platter. It's all ready, just like, when someone cooks for us, the whole meal, the whole feast is ready for us to relish. It makes us so happy. It's served to us. All we have to do is just eat and enjoy. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada has given us Krishna consciousness, the simple process. Everything that we need is given to us. And it's not that he's given us something very difficult to perform. No, not at all. He has given us Krishna consciousness so we can save ourselves from going down into the animal kingdom. He is given us, in fact, Srila Prabhupada says that this Krishna consciousness movement is also an incarnation of Krishna. Such a powerful sentence. It's an incarnation of Krishna, because Krishna and Krishna consciousness both are absolute and they are same. There is no difference. Just like many times we heard Srila Prabhupada say Krishna, his form, his name, his pastimes, they are all the same. So why waste time? Why not worship Krishna? Why not follow the process given to us by Srila Prabhupada? Krishna consciousness is simple, it is easy, and best of all, it's free. Imagine if we were told, if Srila Prabhupada told us, every morning, please chant 16 rounds, minimum 16 rounds. And before you do that, put $100 in this box. That is a payment for chanting 16 rounds. How many of us would do that? That would be how many dollars a month? It's free. We don't even have to pay anything. Krishna has given us everything. He doesn't need anything from us. So when we are chanting, we are actually performing devotional service. It's not that Krishna is, so proud. He wants everyone to chant his holy names every day so that he feels great. No, he doesn't need that. Right? Especially in the material world, if someone says, let me give an example, a very crude example. Oh, Gita Mataji, you're so nice. You sing so nicely. Gita Mataji, Gita Mataji. Oh, that would make us so proud, and we would feel like, wow, someone is singing my glories. Krishna doesn't need all that. Krishna doesn't need a glorification from us, but he's giving us an opportunity to perform devotional service so that we can purify ourselves and become qualified to go back to Godhead. You see, an opportunity for us to serve. In this transcription of this lecture that I was reading, Srila Prabhupada, he gives a prayer, which probably we could, use every day. He says, my dear Krishna. He starts off with just like when we write a letter, or an email, if someone is not so dear, we just say dear so-and-so, but someone like our child or mother will say, my dear. So he says, my dear Krishna, you're so opulent. I have nothing to offer you because you have everything, but please accept my offering. That should be the mood. That's the consciousness required even before we start chanting that, yes, Krishna, you have everything. You're so opulent. You don't need anything. But please accept my offering. This prayer, chanting is a prayer to the Lord that please engage me in your service. So in that mood, when we chant, then Krishna is really pleased. So what do we need to do that? All we need is a little bit of humility. No, not a little bit, a lot of humility. And what's humility? According to Srila Prabhupada, one is not anxious to get the satisfaction of being honored by others. This is a transcendental platform, humility. How do we develop humility? First of all, understanding I'm insignificant. One time I heard in a lecture, Srila Prabhupada was telling his disciple that in this whole creation, just take one universe, and in that one universe, one planet, in that one planet, one continent, in that one continent, one country, in that one country, one state, in that one state, one city, in that one city, one subdivision, in that one subdivision, one house, and we are in that one tiny house. And what do we think? I am so significant. No, we are insignificant. So, if we are so insignificant, why would Krishna accept our offerings? Because he wants us to surrender unto him. That is the only way to get qualified, to purify ourselves. Only way is through bhakti yoga. And bhakti yoga is what? Devotional service. So Krishna is giving us an opportunity. He's given us Bhagavad Gita, he's given us knowledge, and he is showing us the way when he came more than 500 years ago, how to perform bhakti yoga. So when a devotee starts devotional service with a humble attitude, Krishna says, that is when I reveal myself to that devotee. All Krishna is looking for, not that, how many rasagullas we made for him today, or how many gulab jamuns we made for him, or what did we cook for him. No, he's looking at our devotion. He's looking at our consciousness. What is our attitude? I feel so blessed and so pleased whenever, I am associating with my husband, because when I go for grocery, he will tell me, he will suggest, what I can buy. And then his ending sentence is, I'm sure Krishna will like this. Okay, maybe you can bring okra and make some masala okra. Probably Krishna will like that today. So the consciousness is not for sense enjoyment, but devotional service. And devotional service can be performed in all different ways. I'll give you another example. I think it was only 2 or 3 days ago. We were sitting and we were chatting, we were discussing. I was also preparing for my class. He was preparing for his class. And then there was a phone call. And, we get so many telemarketing phone calls, so many of them. And so the call was, are you so-and-so? And my husband said, yes. And she said that, are you owner of this house? And, normally you would say, yes, but I'm not interested in selling my property, and goodbye. But he said, actually, no, there is an owner above me. She said, oh, I would like to talk to him. And he said, actually, I don't own this property, but I can give you his website, the one who owns this property. She said, yes, I would like to know because I'm interested in buying this property. And guess what? She was talking about the place where we were living, where we are living, that property. If that property is gone, do we go on the road or what? So anyway, so she said, please give me the website. And she said, oh, you mean he has listed the property on his website? So my husband said, well, why don't you just go to that website and you'll get all the information? Okay, what is the website? Krishna.com. And I was smiling all the way, right up to my ears. Normally, if we would, just get rid of that telemarketing call, but he led her to Krishna.com so that she reads about Krishna and hopefully she'll take up Krishna consciousness. So that is the right consciousness. Nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. We unfortunately think we are the proprietors. We are the owners. Like, sometimes it becomes so crazy that a person thinks, I own my spouse, I own my children, so I need to control them because I am the controller. That's not humility at all. So here Krishna is giving us opportunities to serve him. And when we sincerely and seriously perform devotional service, then Krishna is pleased. Then Krishna reveals himself. Avajananti Mamudha. He does not reveal himself to the foolish. He only reveals himself. You see, it's not easy to understand Krishna or to understand his pastimes, or even when we read Bhagavad Gita, it's not easy to understand. Imagine if Srila Prabhupada had not given purports. I don't think, at least I would have understood anything from just the translations. It's the purpose that is so very important. I remember in the early days when we were beginning in Krishna consciousness, we were in Juhu, Mumbai, and our spiritual master asked us to read Bhagavad Gita every day. And so we decided, okay, let's sit down, and we read the Bhagavad Gita. And we were very proud that we were following the instructions. So one day, our spiritual master asked, so you're reading Bhagavad Gita? Yes, we read one chapter a day. He said, oh, how long does it take? Oh, maybe 5-10 minutes. He said, what? How do you read? We said, we read all the translations. He said, what about the purports? We did not think it was important to read the purports. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. That's when we realized, oh, the purports are very, very important. That is what makes us understand the Bhagavad Gita properly. It's not that we don't understand through the translations, we do, but the real meaning, the real purport is there in Srila Prabhupada's explanations. So it is not easy to understand Krishna or his pastimes. It is only possible when Krishna bestows his mercy upon the devotee. When he wants, to whom he wants to give the mercy, that is when the mercy comes. All he's looking for us is to sincerely endeavor in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna, he being the Supreme Lord, he reserves the power to remove the curtain of Maya from our eyes. You see, if we have even a tinge of desire to be in Maya, he is not going to remove that curtain from our eyes, from our vision. So he bestows mercy accordingly. He's ready to accept our service, but are we ready to give service? Are we ready to perform devotional service? We are the ones who have to take the first step. So Krishna, as Prabhupada says, Krishna has everything. He doesn't need anything. He's praying, Krishna, you're so opulent, you have everything, but please accept my service. Please accept what I'm offering. So it is the attitude, it's the state of consciousness that matters. Let's take example of Vidura and Duryodhana. Both invited Krishna for prasadam, to come and eat, to, have food in their house. Where did Krishna go? He went to Vidura's house, even though in Vidura's house, there was not that, big layout or big feast like Duryodhana had arranged. Maybe a chapan bhog, I don't know. But in Vidura's house, Vidura's wife, was so attracted to the beauty of Krishna that she threw the banana and she offered the banana peel to Krishna to eat. Did Krishna get upset? Imagine if someone did that to us, we'd be like, excuse me, what are you doing? You're insulting me. You're throwing the banana and giving me the peel. Am I a monkey? Should I eat just the peel? No. Krishna looked at her devotion, her state of consciousness. So he accepted the peel of banana and he ate it with relish. So Krishna, it's not that he wants something. Krishna is waiting for us, to take this golden opportunity which Srila Prabhupada has given us, made it so easy to perform devotional service so that we can get qualified to go back to Godhead. You see? So the real thing is Krishna consciousness, the bhakti. Now, it was because of this lack of bhakti that the earth became overburdened. And you see, we are those unfortunate people in Kali Yuga. So, Krishna had to come down in the form of his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He came down. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness movement is an incarnation of Krishna. Krishna's holy name is also Krishna. So just by chanting this whole Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can save ourselves from Maya. So the translation once again, the Supreme Lord relinquished the body which he manifested to diminish the burden of the earth. Just like a magician, he relinquishes one body to accept different ones, like the fish incarnation, etc. I'll stop here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother Geeta. I'm still not able to show my video. I am so